Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Warships with the mighty Jingles, and this one is all about smart teamwork, cooperation, and good tactics when your back is up against the wall and you're heavily outnumbered. I'm in the USS Phoenix. It's the American Tier 4 light scout cruiser. I quite like the Phoenix, even though it never actually existed. Very, very similar to the Omaha at Tier 5, and the reason for that is because the Phoenix was the prototype's the wrong word, but the design work that went into developing the Phoenix was eventually used to develop the Omaha, hence the two ships look and perform in a very, very similar fashion. It's not as well armed as the St. Louis at Tier 3. That doesn't mean, of course, that it's poorly armed. It's just, well, saying that you're not as well armed as St. Louis at Tier 3 is not much of a criticism, because that thing's basically made out of guns. But the firepower is all right, and it's a heck of a lot faster and much, much more manoeuvrable. I do quite like the Phoenix. I like the Omaha at Tier 5, and the Phoenix is basically a Tier 4 version of the Omaha, so yeah, no surprise there. This match was a bit of a challenge. If you look at the team lists on each side of the screen there, you can see that the game's pretty much dominated by all the battleships, and killing cruisers is what battleships are for. Luckily, these are low-tier battleships, so while they have the firepower, they don't have the massive range advantage over a light scout cruiser like the Phoenix. Pretty much, if they're in range of me, I'm also in range of them. So we're just going to skip ahead to when we make first contact with the enemy forces, and I'll talk you through the tactics that I had foremost in my mind when it came to dealing with those enemy battleships. Here we go. Have a look down there to the south. You're going to see some shots going out. There they are. And then the enemy ship appears. That's the Yubari, Japanese Tier 4 cruiser. You notice we didn't spot him until he fired his guns. That's because firing your guns extends the range at which your ship can be detected. You'll notice that I have now been detected because I've just opened up on him. Now he's not alone down there, he's just the first one that we've seen. If you pay attention, you're going to see some shots coming in from behind him as everybody opens up on this cruiser. Pouring some high explosive fire in. There's a battleship detected to the rear. He's probably just fired his guns, which will be the reason why he's suddenly popped up. As we're getting closer to these guys now, and you can see shots going out there on the other side of that island. There's something else over there. We're about to run into the majority of the enemy team. This guy manoeuvring wildly and pretty successfully, avoiding most of the return fire that's been directed at him. And he's basically the eyes and ears of those battleships at the rear. You can really see that firepower coming in from those big ships at the back. So, if you're in a light cruiser like the Phoenix and you're sailing straight into the teeth of a whole bunch of enemy battleships, what's the best way to ensure that you do more damage to them than they do to you? The trick is to try to keep yourself at the extreme limit of the range of your guns whenever possible. And you do this for two reasons. The first and foremost reason is because the further away you are from somebody shooting at you, the more time you have to react when they open fire. And it really hurts a battleship if he misses when he fires his guns, because he has a much, much longer reload than a cruiser. If I open up once I close the range on those battleships and I miss with my first salvo, it doesn't really matter, because it only takes me around 8 seconds to reload my guns. If one of these guys opens up on me and he misses, well, he's got to endure getting shot at for a long, long time, 20 to 30 seconds, before he can reload his guns and have a second shot. And these Tier 3 and 4 battleships, your Wyomings, your Arkansas Betas, your Mayogis, they don't have the overwhelming range advantage over ships like the Phoenix that the higher tier battleships do. If they're in range of me, I'm pretty much in range of them as well. Now, you'll note that they're only just starting to shoot at me now, and I was detected about 30 seconds ago. The first barrage that flies out misses, and that's that guy out of the fight for the next 20 to 30 seconds, because it takes them that long to reload their guns. And I've also turned to put this island between myself and them. Now, hopefully, that's going to encourage them to not stick around waiting for me to clear this concealment, and instead turn their guns on something else. The other reason you want to keep these guys at the maximum possible range of your guns is not just to give you the maximum possible time to evade when they open fire on you, but it's also to take advantage of plunging fire. Plunging fire, of course, only really happens at the extreme range of your guns, because you have to elevate the gun barrels so high in order to hit the target at extreme range. That guy to the left of me doesn't look very healthy. But it basically means that your shots are coming in from almost directly above, and these ships tend to not have as tough armour on the decks of the ships as they do on the sides, so you get a better chance of penetrating and doing full damage with whatever shells you're firing. Now there's some shots going in on this cruiser, and I firmly believe that you should never give a sucker a fair fight, and if you can maximise your firepower on any ship, you should definitely do it. That looks like a... what is that? Yeah, it's Japanese. Kuma or Tenryu. It's the tier 3 or tier 4 Japanese cruiser. I know that you can just hold down Alt and it'll tell you exactly what it was, but at the time all I needed to know about that guy was that he was the target. There's two of us shooting at him, although the other ship on my team that was shooting this guy is steaming in the other direction, and he's probably going to be out of line of fire soon. So this guy's all mine. Now, oh, he's returning fire. 4 guns. Yeah, that's probably the Kuma. I have a lot more guns than this guy does, but I'm also making myself a target for those other battleships off on his port side. So, you know, I outgun this guy, but I don't outgun that guy and the other 4 ships with him. So, if I start getting lit up by those other fellas, I'm getting the hell out of here. Now, he's obviously trying to open the distance on me because he's on fire. He doesn't have the guns to fight me off, and I'm pretty sure I'm out of his torpedo range. And what I'm basically doing here is, it's a tactic that works very, very well in the St. Louis. Very, very well in the St. Louis because it has so many guns. Oh, he's not firing. He's disappeared. He's outside of my detection range. But the tactic works pretty well on the Phoenix and the Omaha as well. Oh, there he is. He's returned fire. I've popped back into view range again. And again, I'm not the only one shooting at him. Sail around in circles. When you're engaged in a gunfight with somebody, as long as you've got space to do it, sail around in circles. Works particularly well on ships like the Omaha, the Phoenix and the St. Louis because most of their guns are mounted in the sides. It's a good thing and a bad thing, because a bad thing, you can't fire all of your guns at the same target, but the good thing is you turn the ship around and you've got a fresh set of guns on the other side ready to engage. And yeah, his friends are getting involved in the party. I've taken a hit, I've lost my steering, immediately repair that. Pulling a tight turn here, don't want to run into that island. Running around here and I'm dead. But I've managed to get some limited amount of concealment between myself very soon and those other guys. The Kuma is now unable to shoot at me, but my ranges are occluded on everybody except for that battleship over there. So my guns are pretty much continuously firing and have been for the last 2 minutes. I'm doing a lot of damage here, but I'm unable to focus it. Torpedoes in the water. Where are they? Friendly torpedoes. Okay. Okay, that was close. That's a lot of big angry ships shooting at me. Of course, I'm now the closest target to them. So this is not good. I need to make myself scarce and get the hell out of here, but I want to set that battleship on fire. He's taking some big hits. Shots coming. Oh, he's run himself aground. That is bad, 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 bad news. Come on. Come on. Let's have him. Oh yeah, there we go. On fire. I'm getting shot at. Well, obviously I'm getting shot at, but I'm actually getting hit. I've lost about 1/3 of my health. And it's not going too well, is it? Look at those scores. We have lost 5 ships. We've managed to sink 1. It's absolutely terrible. This was one of those games where I was just convinced it was going to be another 1700 experience defeat. I mean, what were the odds of winning this one? Yeah, okay, we controlled 2 of the caps. That guy's down. Finally, we've sunk a 2nd ship. Took long enough. I mean, we controlled 2 of the cap flags. But we're just bleeding ships here. People keep dying. So we need to start killing enemy ships. It's all well and good that my guns haven't stopped firing for the last 3 minutes, but we're not killing anything. I'm constantly switching fire between one target and another because of the evasive maneuvers that I'm being forced to take in order to not get blown out of the water by these battleships. And in the space of time it took me to say that, we've just lost another ship. We've now lost 6 ships, we only have 5 left, and we've only managed to sink 2 of the enemy. And yes, we control 2 of the capture flags, but they win if they sink us all, and it's looking increasingly likely that they are going to sink us all. I've done a metric shit ton of damage in this game, but it's all been to different ships. Now, it's good news and bad news. Good news, most of these enemy ships are all on low health. Bad news, we haven't sunk any of their battleships, and the battleships can repair the damage that we're doing to them. So we need to focus fire on these guys and put one of them down. And as if by magic, I spy an enemy battleship that's on very, very low health. Put some shots out, he's burning, but he's put the fire out, and that's probably really pissed him off. Right after he extinguished the fire, here comes a barrage of high explosive shells, finishes him off. Switching fire to this guy now, Japanese battleship, I think it's the Miyogi. I'm focusing on this guy for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, because he's the safest target to go for. He's strung out right at the front of the pack. So shooting at this fella, as you can see, he's got plenty of teammates behind him, but shooting at this guy allows me to maintain the distance on the rest of the ships on the enemy team. We've lost another ship, by the way. There's only 4 of us left now. How many enemies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Too many. So this guy is also not shooting at me. So I've basically got a free rein here. I've set him on fire, I'm knocking out gun batteries. You can't actually see him, but there's another friendly battleship just slightly further over to the left of the screen who is the focus of this guy's attention. We need, between the two of us, to put this guy down before the rest of his team turn up. You can see the other battleships there steaming in. And then a final barrage comes in just after I set this guy on fire. From that battleship, you can see over there, and puts him down. And now here comes the rest of his team, and they're all shooting at me. And they're shooting at me because I'm the only target they can see. The friendly battleship is now out of their line of fire. He's very wisely scooted around the side of an island. So again, good news, bad news situation. These guys are going to start turning in order to present their rear gun batteries towards me and maximise the amount of fire that they put in my direction. But for the moment, it's only their frontal gun batteries that are actually able to fire. I've managed to set one of them on fire. I'm focusing my fire on the guy on the left hand side and furiously attempting to dodge their return fire. My initial target has put the fires out, so I know he's used his damage control ability. Now what I want to do here, because at the end of the day I'm in a tier 4 cruiser and these guys are battleships, I'm not going to knock these guys out in one shot, but I'm constantly chipping away at their health, and I can chip away at their health a damn sight faster if I can set them both on fire. So I'm switching my fire to the guy on the right, and I'm doing that because, as you see, if I pull back, I no longer had a line of fire at the initial target that I was shooting at. Now I've popped behind the island, maybe these guys are going to switch their fire to that other battleship up ahead, which hopefully is going to allow me to continue chipping away at their health, setting them on fire, knocking out gun turrets, disabling secondary gun batteries, and giving that other battleship more of a chance, trying to keep him in the fight as long as possible for him and the other battleships over to the right side of the screen that you can just see putting some barrages into this guy in front, but give them more time to deliver those knockout blows on these 2 enemy battleships. And there's a 3rd ship coming up behind them. At the moment these guys are in the cap circle, so I'm earning all kinds of bonus points for resetting the cap every time I hit them. Unfortunately, that is the guy that I really need to hit right now, because they are about to take the B point off us. They're not stupid, they know what they need to do to win this game, and that guy is playing very, very, very well. I'm trying to lob shots over the island here and hit him, but he's packed in tight against the side of the island, and I'm too close to him now to be able to put shots, plunging fire, directly over the steepest part of the island there. And it's only now, when it's too late and they've already captured B, that I'm able to put some shots over the top of the land mass there and hit him, and knock some gun turrets out. But too little, too late, and now I'm on fire. And my damage control ability is on cooldown, so I'm just going to have to burn for a bit. Now, I was actually contemplating driving in a bit closer here and trying to hit this guy with torpedoes, but the torpedoes on the Phoenix are a close range weapon, and I probably wouldn't survive looking at the amount of ships that are coming up there. At the moment, that friendly battleship up front, who's just taken a big old hit, appears to be the focus of their attention. If he had a bit more health, I might risk it, but he's probably going to be dead long before I get inside torpedo range. Now, I set that guy on fire and he instantly used his damage control ability, and I'm starting to take fire again from the battleship behind him. Once again, I'm doing the whole sail around in circles thing just to keep the guns firing. My guns literally haven't stopped shooting for the last 7 or 8 minutes. I'm checking the torpedo ranges. He's too far away. They've nailed that battleship. There's only 3 of us left. I am now the focus of all of their attention, and I know that I'm living on borrowed time here. Damage control ability comes off cooldown just in time. They knock my engines out, I put the fire out, I set that guy on fire again. I know I'm probably going to die. I'm not close enough to fire my torpedoes. I just need to get some shots out. I mean, I fired the torpedoes anyway, you never know. Maybe he'll sail into them. Here it comes, and I'm done. And now there's only 2 of us left, and there's 5 of them, and they control 2 of the flags. I was pretty convinced at this point that this was going to be another 1700 experience defeat. This would have been my 3rd in the row on the Phoenix. The situation is pretty hopeless. Surviving ships on my team, both damaged, outnumbered 2 to 1, enemy team control 2 of the 3 flags. How can we possibly win this? We do have a points advantage, but if they sink one of those battleships and hold on to the 2 flags that they have, they've won. Simple as that. And this is where the 2 surviving battleships on our team did something that really surprised me. They used their brains. Have a look at the map. All of those enemy ships that were chasing me and that other battleship, and they sunk both of us, but they chased us all the way north. That's what our 2 surviving battleships have to deal with. Attacking them would be suicide. So instead, look at where they are on the map. They're both closing in on the sea capture point. In fact, one of them is capping it. And that is absolutely the right thing to do. Now, with most of the enemy teams strung out all the way up the northern end of the map, and 3 of them, of the 5 that are remaining, being slow battleships, that means only the 2 enemy cruisers are going to be in a position to get back and attempt to reset this guy. Actually, not this guy, that guy. And they are shooting at him. But they keep missing. Which is nice. Because he's capping, and also he doesn't have an awful lot of health, and he's doing absolutely the right thing. Now, he's not particularly quick, but he's sailing as quickly as he can for the concealment, and he's not attempting to return fire either, because, well, all that's going to do is make him an easier target. And he's sailing as fast as he can for the cover of that little island over there, while the second battleship, who does have a lot of health, is steaming into the cap. And they've taken C. And watch how these guys work together. The fellow with all the health moves in as best he can to attempt to shield the guy who doesn't have all of the health. They've hit the fella on low health, but it doesn't matter, he's capped now. Well, it does matter, but they can hit him as much as they like, as long as they don't sink him. Don't forget, if the enemy team sinks one of your ships, they gain points and you lose points. So it's important that this guy does not sink. But the enemy team starts shooting at the wrong target. And as soon as this guy sees that they're engaging the guy with all of the health, he opens up on them as well, because it's quite safe to do so now. He's going to get 1 barrage off, and then he's going to be in cover behind the island. And any second now, they've done enough to win on points. Well played to the 2 battleship drivers, who did absolutely the right thing under the circumstances. And yeah, reasonably well played to me as well. 2,757 experience, finished top on the team, and did plenty of damage in that match. Let's have a quick look. Something like 67,000, I think. Yeah, there you go. Not too bad at all. And that was basically the game that I expected to lose, but we didn't, because of teamwork and the correct use of tactics in the circumstances that prevailed at the time. And it was all thanks to those 2 battleship drivers, who surprised me by not sucking and doing exactly the right thing at the right time. That's it for today, folks. I hope you found this one entertaining and hopefully educational. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.